to either get on living or get on dying. And what we need to do is inspire veterans to choose living. And we do that by educating them with facts, by highlighting stories like you do on your show, where we, you're able to highlight someone who has been where they are and gotten to the other side, to where the light is. And, it's like Martin Luther King used to say, darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that.
Right.
Hate can't get rid, I'm butchering his quote right now. I feel horrible because he's like a legend. But, hate can't solve hate, only love can do that. And so it's that kind of same mentality when we look at this. This is about hurting, and it's about being able to inspire veterans to look at these adversities and challenges as the fuel to move them forward in life, not as things that hold them back.
Absolutely. Well said. Hope is the only thing greater than fear. And so when we have hope, and through stories like what you just shared, which, I mean, you obviously haven't had it easy your whole life at all. But you can answer the question, are you a victim or a survivor? And what can you do? And like how you said, go on living isn't easy to do, but when you change your perception on it, it's a little bit better, and one step at a time. But I think that's
healing
is part of it all.
Well, and I think that you hit the nail on the head with that statement. It's one step at a time. Often there's this perception that I'm going to change, and then somehow magically within like 30 days, you're going to be all better. And it's a process. When I talk about overcoming PTSD, that doesn't mean that I still don't have issues that I deal with.
Right.
I do, but what I don't let those issues do is define my day or my perspective in the way that I achieve my, accomplish goals and tasks in my day.
Or your reactions to it.
Yeah.
It has a lot to do with it, I'm sure.
Yes. And I mean, and that's the first thing, right? Is like you have to retrain your brain on how to react. The Army, especially combat infantry, it's the light switch mentality. You go from 0 to 100 within the flip of a switch. And while that makes sense in a wartime setting, it isn't how the civilian world works. It's military is a very black and white world, and the civilian world is all gray. And even what you think is white and black, you can, hire lawyers to make it gray. So we live in a gray world, and so instead of us saying, people need to understand us, we have to readjust our thinking and come and meet people where they are at their level.
Right.
And, that's hard for veterans to do. And I understand it. It's an absolute struggle. But if you put that time into it and you put that dedication into it, where you finally get back to is that ability to catch the pause in between the stimuli and response, and respond in a way that makes you feel proud and happy and, heard, which is, doesn't happen when you're flying off the handle yelling at people.
Right. Right, absolutely. And then later on regretting it or getting yourself in trouble or arrested or any of that. Because reacting with our emotions cause all those things.
Well, and on top of that, veterans are drinkers. And so the other thing, that I did before my daughter, and probably the biggest reason my wife and I were able to stay together.
Oh, good. I was going to ask.
And make it, you
guys lasted it out?
13 years and still going strong. She's
good
my
for
rock.
You.
It was fate that brought us together. I believe that. And so, the point is that it all takes time, and that decision that I made to stop drinking. So I haven't had a drink for almost 8 years, I think. I might have drank one time in there with friends. I'm thinking I drank one time when I came back to Indiana, and I was so hungover the next day, I was like, there's no way I'm ever drinking again.
Yeah. My father was a bit of a drinker too. It is common from veterans. I mean, but you got to be able to handle it.
Right, and there's no answer at the end of that bottle.
Right?
Like that bottle is probably going to compound your problems. So if you're a vet out there and you're listening right now, the first step to getting better is to put down the bottle if you're using it that way.
If they can't control the behavior.
Yes.
But we're running down to the last minute. How can people find you and whatever organization that you want to promote?
Yeah, so they can find me at ericdonoho.com, and you can see some of my photography and my work there. I regularly, I've helped co-found the program, helped develop the program for Rock Warriors. So it's rocwarriors.org. And it's still in the beginning stages. We're fundraising, so we need help.
What is the website?
rocwarriors.org.
Go on.
I'm sorry. And 3 p.m. on Monday.
That's what I was about to say. 3 o'clock Monday, a minute of silence. Eric, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. I can't wait to meet you in person when you come back. And thanks for sharing your story, man. Sometimes good comes out of bad. This is definitely an example. Thank you so much. And we'll be back with Moments of Clarity tomorrow, 12 to 1, every Thursday, Friday, noon to 1. Have a blessed day. Be kind to each other. Take care. Thanks, Ed.
To yourself, be kind. It will please your mind.
WTAN, Clearwater.